Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to should you listen to others' advice or your own voice or should you listen to your voice? Watch this to know Gaur does. So in my opinion, I was thinking about this a lot actually, and before I started recording, and I said a lot of things in my own head, a lot of nothing. And one thing I'll say this, I'll go ahead and just say that the speech that I had is the fact that you should do both, honestly, because one, you know what you know. I'm not saying what you know is right or wrong, but you do know what you know. Same thing with other people. They know what they know. And and it's not always right or wrong either. What they say could be right, could be wrong. What you think could be right, could be wrong. And my little aha moment, or that's a nice one, was after saying that it's kind of like Advaita Vedanta in the sense that nothing is permanent. A solution one day might not be a solution the next day because things are ever changing. And much like the scenario where maybe you went through something that I'm going through now, but the solution that you gave me doesn't work for me because there's a different scenario, there's a change of scenario for me than what was going through with you. So this is the reason why I always do listen to what people say. I always consider them, but ultimately you gotta have to remember that you are ultimately making a decision for yourself. So you cannot blame anyone else for giving you advice regardless of what that advice is, because you have to make the decision. No one can force you to do something under normal circumstances. But yes, listen to what people have to say. You make the decision whether you listen to your own advice or someone else's advice or a combination of both. And then take responsibility for that action and don't go blaming someone else saying, I took your advice and now I'm failing. It's like, no, because, yeah, you chose to take that person's advice. So let's hear what he has to say here.
मैं कई बार कहता हूँ हिंदी में कि कुछ लोग जो होते हैं ना वो अपने सपनों के लिए अपनों से दूर रहते हैं और कुछ लोग होते हैं जो अपनों के लिए सपनों से दूर रहते हैं yeah. So some people, in order to follow their dreams, they stay away from the people whom they love. And some people, in order to be with the people whom they love, they forget their dreams and their inner voice. So as I was studying, preparing for my exams, looking at the grades, looking at what could be the career options for the future, there was one thing that was definitely happening. That aspect of me saying that, well, I don't want to necessarily give in to the noise.
That was brewing.
That was brewing. That was changing with it.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to belong to that noise and listen to that
Yeah,
noise.
yeah.
Uh, and that's probably why then this decision came. Right? That I don't want to necessarily conform. I don't want to be just a part of the noise. And I'm not against what people say. Getting married is perfectly fine. Having children is perfectly fine. Building a nice house is perfectly fine. Having a fantastic, well-paying job with a big, thick, fat paycheck is perfectly fine. If that's not me, if that's not my voice, I felt, hey, I'm not going to do this. Right?
Wow.
I'm not going to do
Yeah.
this. It was revolutionary. It
Yeah.
was radical.
Yeah.
It was taking the road
Less traveled.
not traveled, shall I
Not
say?
traveled.
Not even less traveled.
Yeah.
Shall I say not traveled practically? Uh, Taking a big time risk. But yes, I followed my heart. I followed that voice. Got a lot of flack. Got a lot of opposition from the most loving parents, and I regret that. Causing them that pain, having them to go through all what they went through for the decisions I made. That's where God, that's where that dichotomy,
Yeah.
to please the ones we love, yet follow your voice.
Yeah.
So hard.
That.
When you're going to follow your voice, it's going to hurt the loved ones who love sometimes. And when you listen to them, sometimes you kind of drown your voice and you just forget to follow your voice. Thankfully, I think it takes a little while when you still continue to love the ones you love, still try to be the most loving, kind, beautiful human beings with them. Over a period of time, on their part, there is acceptance. Uh, After a while, acceptance turns into wholehearted acceptance. After a while, wholehearted acceptance turns into endorsement.
Wow.
And after a while, endorsement turns into wholehearted support.
There's no right or wrong way when it comes to making life decisions. Everyone has a unique situation, and what may have worked for an individual may not work for another. Like I said a little bit earlier, seek advice, listen to your heart, and as you go ahead, be willing to stand up for the choices you've made. Hopefully, things will fall into place, and you may get the appreciation and support you deserve one day. I don't like to say the appreciation and support that you deserve. I don't. I think if we could remove the deserve part in anything that we say or do, then I think we'd be better off. So you may get the appreciation and support that you've earned one day. Meaning that while the reason why your parents or your loved ones are resistant to what you do is because it is a path least traveled. I mean, not necessarily that you have traveled it, but it's many paths that other people have traveled and a path that is least traveled because it's very difficult or it's not a path that's guaranteed success. So that's the reason why she said least traveled, because it's not necessarily talking about just you in general. Obviously, if you never travel that path, you never travel that path. But it's more along the lines that other people also hasn't traveled that same path. And then eventually, uh, the things that you do, if successful, will earn the trust and support of the people around you. Because when they have doubt, you have to prove them wrong. Otherwise, you're just proving them right. And you should have listened to them. Well, that's what they'll say. It's like, I told you so. But yes, very much so. Again, it's not necessarily just listening to your inner voice. It's about listening to what other people have to say, and then you, with your inner voice, saying that is the correct path. What they said was correct, and I see that as making sense to me. So I have chosen that. I think that's what I think he means there. Like not the fact that you denied what other people said, because clearly here it says everyone is seek advice and listen to your heart. So seeking advice means you still hearing people out, but listen to your heart in terms of like, okay, maybe what I thought of wasn't exactly great, and what they said actually makes more sense. So that's what I believe he's trying to say here. So I think if we can also in our everyday lives get rid of the word deserve. Deserve doesn't necessarily mean that you've earned anything. You deserve it just means that it can even come as something that you've not earned. I was gonna look up the definition deserve, see if it's like, oh, when you've earned something, it's like, oh crap. But to me, deserve is can mean that you've earned it, but as well as not earned it. Because how do I say? Because I mean, in terms of everyday speech, it's used in the sense that just because the way you are, you deserve it. Just because you're a man or a woman, or because of the color of your skin, or because of your religion or non-religion, you deserve it. It's like, no, that requires little effort. Things that you cannot change requires no effort, and you don't deserve it just because of things you cannot change. But when you do things that you can change, then you come to earn it, in my opinion. So that's my reaction to should you listen to others' advice or your own voice. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up the sign down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.